Hello and welcome to St Joseph's Catholic High School. My name is Mr McCabe and I'm head teacher, and I'd like to take this opportunity to say how much we're looking forward to welcoming all our students back next week, but Year 7 on Monday the 7th of September, Year 8 on Tuesday the 8th of September along with Year 7, and Years 9, 10 and 11 on Wednesday the 9th of September. You are all very welcome. I'd like to take this opportunity just to tell you a little bit about the start of the school year and some special precautions that we're going to be taking to keep everybody safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. But initially, I'd like to tell you about some new members of staff that will be joining us in September. So a very warm welcome to our new Year 7 and any new students that are joining us in any year group. You are extremely welcome. I'd also like to congratulate Mrs Wood, who will be taking over as substantive head of English from September 2020. She'll be joined by Mrs Smith, who joins her as second in the English department. Mr Patel will be joining the ICT, iMedia and Technology department. And Miss Ramsdale, who you may have already met during lockdown, is our new teacher of art. Miss Matthews and Miss Ward will be taking up the role of part-time teachers of RE, and Mrs Hopkins will be introduced as the new head of modern foreign languages. I'd like to welcome Miss Clayton Clark as a new teacher of maths. Miss Kazera will be coming back as an art teacher, and Miss Dorber will be joining us in the science department, along with Miss Raja, who will also be joining us as a teacher of science. In the English department, we welcome Miss Morton as an English teacher and Miss Warwick as a student support manager, along with Miss Evans, that will also be working within the student support team. That sounds like quite a long list, but as we're increasing in size as a school, we're also increasing our capacity to support and to serve your needs as our young people.
I'm Mia and I'm head girl.
And I'm Monty and I'm head boy.
We're looking forward to welcoming you back in a few days, and we're putting some safety measures to make sure you're safe.
We know you might be a bit nervous about coming back to school, but me and the other student leaders will be here to help you.
Listen carefully to those safety measures.
Opening the school fully in September involves us assessing and minimising any risk of the spread of coronavirus within school. So I'd like you to take this time to listen very carefully to the following safety precautions that we're putting into place across school. I'll pass you over to our assistant head teacher, Mrs Horridge.
To prevent the spread of infection, anyone who is experiencing symptoms of coronavirus or anyone who has tested positive in the last 7 days must not come into school. If anyone in the school, either during school hours or at home, becomes unwell with symptoms, they should follow these procedures. The symptoms of coronavirus are a new continuous cough, a high temperature, or a loss or change in your normal sense of taste or smell. If you experience any of these symptoms, you must self-isolate for at least 7 days and book a test. Anybody else in your household should self-isolate for 14 days from the first day that anyone in your house had symptoms. From week 1 onwards, all assemblies will be streamed into classrooms from members of the senior leadership team or heads of year. Well-being will be fundamental as part of your child's tutorial time and lesson time, as this is our main priority for our students returning. Each department will run a consolidation curriculum, with most subjects starting on a new topic, so that all of our learners can feel safe, secure and successful. All students will receive some training on Office 365, so this can be embedded into our practice. There will be some subject baselining for all our students, so staff and students can work together to move all our learning forward. During the first week, all of our learners will return on different days. On Monday the 7th of September, we welcome our new Year 7s, who will come into school at 8:25 a.m. There will also be some staff training. On Tuesday the 8th of September, Year 7 will be joined by Year 8, and on Wednesday the 9th of September, all our year groups will begin their year at St Joseph's. When travelling to school, students should be encouraged to cycle or walk, either with members of their own household or in small groups of students that are in the same year group as them. At any point during the school day, walking to school, from school, or during school hours, students should not be gathering in large groups. Some families may want to use their own private vehicles to transport their son or daughter to school. If you are using public transport, there are a few simple measures that can help maintain a safe environment. It is compulsory to wear a reusable face covering on public transport. You should maintain a 2-metre distance on board the public transport and whilst waiting for it to arrive. You should wash or sanitise your hands regularly, carrying your own hand sanitiser if this is possible. Please try to buy tickets online or use mobile apps where possible. If you do need to use cash, please have the exact change ready for your driver. There is much more information on the school bus services on returning to school in September on our school website, under the tab School Buses. On arrival to school, all students will enter via the main student entrance doors. Again, when you arrive to school, there are a few simple measures which will help us to maintain a safe environment. If you arrive at the same time as other students, you may need to queue. There are markings on the floor outside the school building to help you to do this safely. You should remove your face covering and store it securely in a plastic bag. All students on entry to school should wash their hands, either in the allocated toilets for their year group or using a portable hand washing station, which have been installed around the school site. All students should make their way to their allocated area of the yard until 8:25 AM. All students should make sure that they are familiar with the correct technique for washing their hands for when they return to school. It is really important that they use this procedure every time they wash their hands. All students will receive some training on how to sanitise equipment prior to its use and the importance of hand hygiene and hand washing. As mentioned previously, we have new mobile hand washing stations that have been installed around the school, and there are also several dispensers of hand sanitizer placed around the school. Each year group will form a bubble, and those bubbles have separate areas of school and separate break and lunch times. There are one-way systems in place, and if possible, with classrooms having outside entrances, these will be used for entry and exit for each of the classrooms. In classrooms, desks have been placed to face forwards where possible, and we are encouraging students to follow all of the signs that are around the school. All students should familiarise themselves with their allocated areas of the school, as students from different year groups should not be mixing. There are different areas allocated for before school, at break time and at lunchtime, and there are different toilet blocks for different year groups. Make sure all students are familiar with exactly where they should be. These are the allocated areas for each year group before school. If you are not travelling on public transport, please aim to arrive at school for 8:20 to 8:25 AM so that you don't have to stay on the yard for too long. You can go directly to period 1. These are the two allocated areas of the yard for year 7 and year 8. These will be used at break time and at lunchtime. These are the allocated areas of the yard for year 9, year 10 and year 11 should use the tennis courts. Again, these should be used at break and at lunchtime. When moving around the school, there is a one-way system in operation, which applies in the main building, the English block and the new build maths block. Around school are signs on the floor to show the direction of movement on each corridor. You will either need to follow the one-way system or keep to the left-hand side of the corridors. The stairs in the main building up the tower block are also one way. The stairs in the English block are for down use only, as are the stairs at the end of the maths corridor. These videos show which of the stairs in the tower block are for up. These are the stairs nearest the main entrance. The stairs nearer the toilets are the stairs which you must come down. When you do come down the stairs, you should then follow the one-way system and down the main corridor, which is towards the science and humanities classrooms. When entering the new build, all students should keep to the left-hand side. Students can then take one of three routes towards Drama and IT, towards English, or up the stairs to the new maths rooms. On exit from the English block, all students should follow the one-way signs and exit on the left-hand doors from the new build. Students are advised to use a reusable face covering when moving between lessons and on landings. You do not need to wear these face coverings during lessons. Please be mindful that some people may be exempt from wearing a face covering and respect all members of our community at all times. Due to having staggered break into lunchtimes to support our students at this time, it has been necessary to change the school day. As you can see from this, Year 7 and Year 8 will go straight to Period 1 at 8:30. They will have 2 lessons before break, and registration will now be at 10:45 till 11 a.m, where each student should return to their form room. Year 7 and Year 8 then have 1 lesson before lunchtime, which is at 12 till 12:45. Year 7 will have the first sitting in the hall, and Year 8 will have the second sitting. There will then be 2 lessons before our students finish at the end of the day. For Years 9, 10 and 11, again, when the bell goes, all students should move towards Period 1 lessons, which begin at 8:30. For Years 9, 10 and 11, registration will happen at the end of Period 2, with break time following that at 10:45. Years 9, 10 and 11 will then have 2 lessons, and lunch will be at the normal time. Year 11 with the first sitting, Year 10 with the second sitting, and Year 9 with the third sitting. In classrooms, layouts have been adapted to maximise social distancing and where possible desk space forward. Doors and windows will remain open. As you can see in the video, we will have student monitors to sanitise the desks at the end of lessons in preparation for the next class. Staff will maintain a 2-metre distance at the front of the classroom when they are teaching. All students should ensure that they are familiar with their allocated area of the yard for lunchtimes so that year groups do not mix. Students with packed lunches will eat outside under the canopies in their allocated area. Students in the hall will sit in rows. All students should take their seat and will be called to get their lunch when it is their turn. Any students purchasing food from the pod will be required to queue using the dots that have been placed on the floor. As you can see here, new benches have been added near the sports hall for additional seating at lunchtime. All students should ensure that every piece of litter is placed in a bin at break or at lunchtime. There are bins placed around the schoolyard and within the school hall to allow you to dispose of your waste easily. Please help us maintain a clean, safe environment by making sure that you do this. At the end of the day, we will be using staggered dismissal so that congestion is avoided as all of our students leave the site. As with arrival, we encourage students to walk home or cycle, either with members of their household or in small groups from their own year group. Again, any student using public transport should use a face covering. Please can I remind all students that they should refrain from gathering in groups with others outside their year group or larger groups on returning home from school. It is very important that all of our students return with the correct equipment prepared for each day in school. Please make sure all students familiarise themselves with this equipment list and bring it each day into school. For fire drill procedures, There are now dots on the yard for lining up each of our classes in their year group bubbles. All students should stand on a designated dot in silence. There is now a new school bell for signal and lesson changeover, a different bell for evacuation and a different bell for evacuation. On return to school, all of our students will receive guidance on the emergency procedures that are involved in each of these bells. At St Joseph's, we have the reputation of being a well-ordered community that is safe, secure and purposeful. All students should remind themselves of the St Joseph's way. We expect the highest standards of behaviour and attitude to learning from all our students. Due to the impact of coronavirus, all students can wear the uniform that they were wearing last year. There is no need to purchase a new jumper or tie for years 8 to 11. All students in years 7 to 11 will be required to wear a blazer. The government guidelines state that uniforms should be washed regularly, but as students are in year group bubbles, it does not need to be washed daily. PE kit, however, should be washed after every use. If you require more information on school uniform, it's available in the parent zone of our school website. Thank you for listening. Make sure you familiarise yourself with all of these procedures, and we look forward to welcoming you back from the 7th of September.